If you're watching this, I have been using the Nothing Phone 2 and the Pixel 7 for the last week. The experience has had its ups and downs, comparing both the cameras, deciding if the Glyph interface is an actual feature or it's something nothing added to differentiate themselves, and most important of all, which is the better phone and better value. Here is how both phones changed everything. I will say, the Nothing Phone 2 gave me a new experience. It gave me something a lot of smartphones have stopped doing over the years, and that is presentation. Now, if you look back at the last 3 to 5 years, smartphones have become more minimal in their packaging. It's just a little white box with a picture of the phone on the front. Now, the Nothing Phone 2 got me excited about how it came in the box. It has the little transparent SIM ejector tool, the cable, and of course, the phone. Now, if there's one thing they did right, is being unique and being different. It has a glass back with an aluminum frame which gives it a firm grip while holding the phone. However, it is 6.7 inches, so it does give some sort of discomfort after a couple of minutes if you have small hands. The back of the phone is where you can say they spent most of their resources. It has 33 LED lights that make up the Glyph interface, and essentially it lights up during calls and notifications, and that's just a few of the many tricks that it has up its sleeve. It has a USB-C port at the bottom and front-facing speakers at the top of the display. Onto the Pixel 7, and this was my favorite smartphone design before the Nothing Phone 2. It improved a lot from last year with a matte finish on the camera bar and a glass back. Let's just say you should get a case on both phones as they leave a lot of smudges over time. Now, one of the benefits of the Pixel is its form factor. Now, having a tall phone is good, especially when you're watching videos, but nothing beats a small phone in my opinion. It is easier to carry in the pockets and you can reach all 4 corners of the phone without stressing your fingers. That being said though, which has the better design? Yes, design is subjective, but there is no denying that the Nothing Phone 2 looks better with the different lights at the back of the phone, and if you do buy one, you're going to get a lot of looks and questions about it because it is very unique. For $599, the display of the Nothing Phone 2 is impressive. It is an OLED LTPO panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and 1600 nits of brightness. That's flagship level, and yes, I know the display is only 1080p, but the difference isn't as noticeable as it might seem. The display is vibrant and the colors are accurate. A little tip though, out of the box, the refresh rate is set to dynamic, which basically means it drops to 1 Hz when you're just staring at the screen, and this optimizes the battery life. But if you're like me and you want 120 Hz all the time, you can change it to high. The fingerprint scanner is fast and reliable even though it's an optical version. Although I do wish it was slightly elevated, as that's where my eyes and fingers have been trained over the years with devices like Samsung and the Pixel, and it's just a little nitpick. Compared to the Pixel 7, it left a lot to be desired and could be better. It is a 1080p OLED panel with a 90Hz display and just bright enough to see during the day. The fingerprint reader is consistent and reliable and is not as fast as the Nothing Phone 2, but it does the job. A huge advantage the Pixel has is Face Unlock. At first, you might think Face Unlock with a fingerprint reader is overkill, but having that extra feature is a nice to have. That being said though, the display of the Nothing Phone 2 is miles better than the Pixel 7. The software experiences are the same with a few subtle and not so subtle differences. Now, while the Pixel 7 is dominant with the Pixel experience and Material U, the Nothing Phone 2 adopted it and added a bit of their own sauce and flavor into Nothing OS. From the loading screen, the pin pad, the icon packs, wallpapers, widgets, and many more, it has been carefully crafted to differentiate itself from the Pixel and Material U. It even allows you to remove the Google search bar on the home screen, a request many Pixel users have been begging Google to do for the last few years. Now, if you want to, you can also change the entire icon pack to look like the Pixel experience, but why would you do that? There is a clear difference between light mode and dark mode, and the widget system is my favorite because they interact better. For example, if you have the flashlight widget, it turns red when you turn it on, and it's the little visual experiences that make me understand how they really wanted the Nothing Phone to be their own. And speaking of their own, let's talk about the Glyph interface. I spent the last week deciding if this is a reason to get this phone. Is it a gimmick or a genuine feature? And I want to say both because the Glyph interface can be whatever you want it to be, depending on how many times you're going to use it. It's used for calls and notifications, and if you're taking a picture with the camera, you can turn on all 33 LEDs to be used as a flash, and you can even compose a personal sequence that can be used as a ringtone. That reminds me of the Nokia 3310 and how we used to compose our own ringtones. Good times. It also has a few passive features like the charging meter to see your progress when charging, or the volume indicator that is in tandem with the actual volume of your phone. The Glyph interface does not offer a significant edge over any other Android phone that is out there. It adds a different quality of life value that makes this phone fun to use, and that is not saying the Pixel 7 is far behind. The Pixel 7 leans into software and AI features, from using Magic Eraser, Photo on Blur, using the voice dictation on the recorder app to take notes online and offline, and using Google Translate when you're abroad. Heat management, on the other hand, is not the best as this gets warm after watching videos or playing a few mobile games. Depending on what you want, you'll be happy with either choice. The battery life is where the Nothing Phone 2 truly shows its class. It is a 4700 mAh of battery and is easily a 1-day or 2-day phone depending if you're a light user. Charging speed is decent with 45 watts to the Pixel's 20 to 25 watts, and wireless charging is up to 15 watts. Pixel 7 battery over time has degraded and is not what it used to be. I find myself charging this before my day ends, so having the Nothing Phone 2 showed its shortcomings. But performance on the Pixel has never been its strong suit. The Tensor G2 isn't the fastest chip in the industry, but they have found a way to optimize the phone. Granted, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on the Nothing Phone might be faster, but it didn't feel that way. It honestly felt exactly the same, and this is a Pixel that is almost 1 year old. The base model of both phones are 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, so they both perform the same in terms of background applications. The camera units is a very interesting topic. They both have dual cameras with a 50 megapixel wide-angle lens, but the Nothing Phone 2 has a 50 megapixel ultra-wide, while the Pixel is 12 megapixels. But we all know it's all about the software, and that puts the Pixel ahead. From the selfie camera, it was softer on the Nothing Phone and had way less detail than the Pixel, which got my exact skin tone. The same thing goes with the ultra-wide camera. Much more detail and dynamic range than the Nothing Phone 2. Now, I'm not saying the Phone 2 is bad, it just needs to be improved. I also noticed the Nothing Phone added more saturation and shadows to its pictures than the Pixel 7. Now, even with its low light pictures, it's the same thing. More color, less detail. Now, when it came to video, it was more or less the same. The video on the train that I took had a green tint which was pretty weird and it wasn't exactly natural. And like I said, it's not bad or anything, it just needs a lot of work and improvement. So here is the truth. I really like the Nothing Phone 2. I like how it looks and it feels, and for $599, it is a good price for what you're gonna get. However, as a consumer, you have to ask yourself what you want in a smartphone. With the Nothing Phone 2, you're getting a phone that has a great battery life, great display, a customizable and satisfying software experience, and of course, that Glyph interface. But you won't be getting the best of mostly everything like the Pixel 7. You have a better camera, more software and security updates, similar display experiences, and of course a slightly worse battery. To truly appreciate the Nothing Phone 2, you have to be into the Glyph interface and have the courage to use this without a case. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions about the Nothing Phone 2, let me know down in the comments. If you got any value from this, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.